What up, car people? Ariel here. Today we're working on the Celica again. I have these interior panels that are out of the car for quite some time. I'm considering painting these black and cutting out holes for the roll bar to fit through. So today I will start removing the roll bar so that I could position it, so that I could mark the holes on these panels, cut that out, later paint that, and have the roll bar like just go through the panel nicely. Very OEM plus almost, but we'll see. So first what I have to do is clean the car because it is a mess, vacuum, degrease, tidy up some of the wiring, and then we can loosen up the roll bar and start measuring for cutting on these panels. So here's what's on the agenda. Yo. I really can't wait to drive the Celica once again. I'm highly motivated. I had 2 energy drinks today. I googled Celica race car interiors and I'm pretty inspired. I want to get this done already. So yeah, this is a mess of wires. I don't have to mess with this just yet. I'm not sure. I would like to slim down this harness and delete everything that isn't needed, like AC wiring, power steering wiring, whatever's extra, I want it out. But it is a nest of wires and it's going to be hidden with the dash, and I already have a lot of space. Here's where my fuse box is hanging, if you could see that. And it's pretty sturdy, and I think it could stay there for a little while longer. I might move the ECU back here. There go the plugs for the ECU up against the firewall. So the plan really for now is more of tidying up the interior. Ever since Hoonigan made their video on driving around with a bucket seat in a daily driver, where they reuse their 3-point harness, I've been wanting to do the same for my build. So I will be reinstalling the factory 3-point harness. I'll have to figure out a way to rig a receiver, because the receiver for the seatbelt buckle is part of the OEM seats, which are long gone. I'll be running bucket seats. This NRG FRP seat, that's what I'll be running. Direct mounted onto Planted Engineering seat brackets. So it's basically seat side mount brackets straight down to seat. There's no adjustment. You're gonna have to bolt it down if it's too far too close. So essentially I gotta set the seat perfectly, set and forget it, and that's fine with me. And I'll have to mount a OEM style receiver. I'm gonna reuse the seatbelt receiver from the rear seats, which I should have somewhere in my messy garage, hopefully. So today I want to loosen this roll bar, measure the interior so that I can cut holes so that the roll bar can go through, or do I just run without that interior stuff? That's the dilemma. So I think it'll look cleaner with the interior bits back on. They're not that heavy. It would be a pain in the ass if I had to remove it a couple of times, but this should be a one and done type of deal. It would be a really special occasion if I had to remove all this again. I'm just doing it now because I have some time before the weather gets too cold to paint. I want to get this roll bar out and give it a fresh coat of gold and some clear coat. And since the interior has been painted black from the factory gray, I'll have to paint those bits, mark it, cut holes for the roll bar, remount the seat belt on the upper trim, so the seat belt mounting point goes through the interior piece. So I'll have to flock the interior piece first and then install the seat belt again. So it's kind of like a puzzle. It has to go in a certain order, so that's why it kind of seems like nothing's going on with the Celica right now. So I'm gonna start with the cleaning, vacuuming, then I'll get to trying to tidy up this mess as much as I can just by bundling up the wires a little better, throwing some tape, zip ties wherever needed, and vacuum, wipe everything down with some degreaser, and get back here, measure that up. Let's do it. Alrighty, car people, it's update time. Alright, it's pretty clean in here. I tidied up the harness, wrapped what I needed to wrap, and zip tied it to this support here. I did the same on both sides and kind of cleaned up whatever wiring I could. It's still a bit of a mess, but short of cutting a couple of wires, that's as good as it's gonna be. It's so many wires, some of them cross each other, and some of the wire harnesses split and then wrap around other wires, so it's pretty crazy, but that's how it was factory. I'm gonna leave it as is, and just whatever modules I don't need will just stay unplugged. And we'll see what I can do come winter time to tidy up this harness. I would love to just minimize all of the wiring here, but that's a project for another time. So here is where the plastic that I'll be reinstalling is. I got most of the interior bits that were chilling in here out, so now what I have to do is kind of loosen this roll bar and measure from this hoop, from this bar down to the plastic, and mark the hole for the bar to pass through, if that makes any sense. So I'll have to remove the roll bar and then remove this piece here and then reinstall it without that piece, then get something to measure and mark where my hole's gonna go. So for that I gotta remove the bar and get the interior cleaned here, so it looks pretty tidy. My harnesses are put away for later use, and yeah, I hope to get the bar out today so I can measure that hole, start scuffing it, and hopefully paint it tomorrow, but we'll see. It's already getting pretty late, so I'll see what I could do, and I'll see what I could do, and I'll update you in a few. It's gonna be like 0 seconds for you. right. All right, so the roll bar is loose. All I have to do is move it forward, get these arms off, and then place the interior plastic in so I can measure and mark for the hole. So let's take a look. This is the first side I'm gonna check. So just so you get an idea, the bar is going to this fender piece here. This is a fender well, and the bar intersects as so. So we'll see what the piece, what it looks like with the piece on, and just keep in mind that the bar will be going through this area right here. So to kind of visualize, and let's put it in practice. So I think the best way to do this is by climbing in back here. Let's see. I'm gonna lift it and pull it back. The bolts that are in the wells are really in there. I can get them out. They're probably gonna fall through and go be on the ground somewhere. Not really concerned. I would have to lift the car up to reach my hand in there, and since it doesn't really need to be fastened, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull. There you go. Boom. That's where it needs to be. All right, check it out. Visualize. So once upon a time, I was trying to mark this off. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking at that time, but so here's the interior panel, and there's a roll bar. What do you think? Should I run interior at all? Should I just go as gutted as possible? I'm sweaty, it's hot. Leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think. Yeah, so what I need to do is follow this angle here and see where I'm cutting on this interior trim. So I'll figure out how to do that. I think perhaps this seat belt is interfering. Let me get the other piece of interior and place it there as well and see what it looks like. Cool, so that slides in really nice. Won't be too bad on second thought installing this. I'm pretty excited. It gives it a very finished look. Obviously this should be black, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. I have not seen my Celica with this much, like these interior pieces have not been in this car for a long time. Looking forward to using these little cup holders for some air fresheners. Those little cup kinds, I love them. Anywho, there it is. So I gotta find a way to mark for these holes. I'll be back. Alright, car people, the sun is starting to set. Ooh. That's it for me. I'm gonna call it a day. Here's where we're at. I made some crude markings, but essentially this is generally the point where the bar is gonna come through. I'm gonna cut along this line a large enough square so that it'll pass through comfortably. As much as I would like to have a real nice tight cut, I don't have what I need to get that accomplished, and I don't feel like making this into a huge project. The ideal way would be to get a tube a larger diameter than this, which I do have, but it's too long and I have nothing to cut it. Take that tube, slide it over here, and then bring it down to the interior plastic, trace alongside the circle of the tube, the outside diameter, and that's where you would cut. I haven't done that, but I've eyeballed. I took some rulers, some straight edges, sockets. I taped a socket to a Sharpie and made some marks, but generally that's the interference point. And honestly, if I have to cut through the grill, I'd rather not run these pieces because they would look real janky if I have to cut through the grill. It'll be more obvious that I hacked it up myself. So I'm going to take the interior pieces home with me, cut them with my Dremel, bring them back tomorrow, and confirm. So for today, the roll bar is out. Wiring has been tidied, zip tied, and wrapped in you know, that electrical tape stuff. I vacuumed and cleaned a bit of the interior. More of that to come tomorrow. So painting and cutting and more painting, more cleaning. I still have to touch up the dash and I have more pieces to flock. After I cut that, I'll have to paint that as well as the roll bar. So stay tuned, way more Celica content coming. There's no shortage. And wintertime, I'll probably be working on my wire tuck again. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you can get notified of all of my random uploads. Follow me on Instagram and I'll keep you up to date on the cars and video uploads at @themmost_Ariel. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Comment, let me know what you think. What do you want to see next on the Celica? Suggestions, comments, questions, leave them down below. Ariel out. Peace. Yeah. La 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 la. Ooh yeah. That's my Randy Savage impersonation. Or as I like to call him, Randall Civilized. That's its alter ego.